What's up, guys? It's Camacho again, and today I'm going to teach you a little something about Bitcoin Ordinals. What are Ordinals? You've probably heard Ordinals floating around in the crypto space. You maybe heard of Inscriptions, Ordinals, digital artifacts, and you've probably been wondering, what are Bitcoin Ordinals, right? They're fairly new. They're brand new for 2024. They came out a bit before 2024, but they've started to be popularized in 2024 with things like Unisat, with things like Doggy Market, Doginal Explorer, so forth and so on. Ordinals are taking over the market, the crypto markets in 2024. And I want to teach you a little bit about what ordinals are, right? So ordinals are a specific protocol or a revolutionary addition to the Bitcoin blockchain that introduces the idea of digital artifacts or inscriptions, right? Ordinals, really, they represent the application or a novel application of the Bitcoin blockchain, enabling a user to inscribe data onto individual Satoshis on the blockchain, right? So you can actually store, it's actually like a mechanism that you can, that allows you to store and create unique digital assets, sort of like NFTs, directly on Bitcoin's existing infrastructure, right? So it's pretty cool. You could actually store data, you could store images, you could store HTML or other type of JavaScript computer code. You can store quite a bit on the Bitcoin blockchain simply through this new protocol called Ordinals. So there's really kind of three core features of Ordinals. One is data inscription. Users can embed various types of data, including images, text, executable code, onto the Satoshis directly onto the blockchain, effectively turning each inscription into a digital artifact, right? Which could then be sold, bought, sold, traded, transferred over and over and over again, right? Pretty cool stuff. Next, the second key feature is unique digital assets. So leveraging the Ordinals protocol, creators can really mint one-of-a-kind items ranging from art to collectibles to in-game assets, all anchored on the security and performance on the Bitcoin blockchain. Very cool. The third feature is really immutable ownership, right? When you buy a Bitcoin, you actually own that Bitcoin and you purchased it. It's immutable. Nobody could change that. When somebody buys or sells or transfers a Bitcoin on the blockchain, that record of that is stored forever on the blockchain. It cannot be changed. It can't be tampered with, right? It can't be faked or lied. It's immutable. So inscriptions give you the ability to create these assets through, while using Bitcoin's robust security features, ensuring your ownership and transaction history are immutable and transparent, right? So if you create something and transfer it, it ain't going away. That record is not going away, right? So next, I want to talk a little bit about the technical insights of Bitcoin Ordinals, right? Inscription, there's kind of two aspects of the technical pieces of this, right? There's an inscription mechanism, and that is really the process that's crafting that special Bitcoin transaction that embeds the specific data that you want onto or into the blockchain itself, with each Satoshi acting as a carrier for that data. That's very important to note, right? The second technical insight that I want to note is that it enables asset tracking and verification. So specialized tools and explorers have been developed that interact and verify the existence and authenticity of these inscribed Satoshis, right? Facilitating their trade and collection. So in order to view, what has actually been stored, traded, transferred, created, minted, deployed of these inscriptions, that is all stored within the blockchain and can be retrieved through different types of explorers to validate and to verify it, right? So now, there's a lot of different types of applications or implications of ordinals, right? It's really changing the game on how Bitcoin can actually be used. In the past, it was really just, you could buy a Bitcoin or a fraction or a percentage of the Bitcoin and trade that back and forth between users, right? Somewhat as like a payment mechanism, although Bitcoin has been fairly slow and hasn't been able to be successful as a legit payment mechanism, right? Now with ordinals, this gives us new applications of use, specifically that abide within the Bitcoin ecosystem and Bitcoin network, right? That's very powerful. So one, it revitalizes Bitcoin's kind of core utility, right? Beyond its role of digital currency and a store of value, which is what most people think of when they think of Bitcoin, now Bitcoin has the capacity for hosting unique digital assets and it introduces new use cases and revitalizes its appeal to a broader audience, right? Imagine if you could store a web page directly on the blockchain and then retrieve that web page later on. It's somewhat like a universal computer, right? Similar to what kind of Ethereum has been doing a bit, but directly on the Bitcoin blockchain. Second, it enables creative and economic opportunities that did not exist before, right? Artists and developers and entrepreneurs and anybody who really would like to can leverage ordinals to create the market for a market for digital goods, opening up new economic opportunities within the Bitcoin ecosystem specifically. And now it also introduces there's also some implication, right? It introduces some new challenges. And with the adoption of ordinals, it raises questions about scalability, transaction costs, and the balance between traditional finance use cases of Bitcoin and the burgeoning demand for blockchain space by digital artifacts, right? So is Bitcoin going to be able to scale with this new, development of ordinals where people are putting data directly onto the Bitcoin blockchain? Is it going to be able to scale? Is it going to be fast enough? Is it going to be cheap enough to transfer and transact with these new ordinals? We are yet to see, right? Now, the interesting thing is, in the future, this is going to present some interesting kind of dynamics in the world of Bitcoin in general, right? The integration of ordinals with smart contracts and decentralized applications hint really at a future where Bitcoin can support complex programmable interactions beyond simple asset transfers. Now, is this all going to happen on BTC Bitcoin? Not sure. Is this going to happen on BSV Bitcoin? Maybe. And these are happening on every different blockchain, right? Right now, I'm just talking about the Bitcoin Ordinals ecosystem. There's a Dogenals Ordinals ecosystem, which is on the Doge blockchain. There is a BSV Ordinals ecosystem, which is on the BSV ecosystem. And there are a whole lot more that I'm going to go through kind of one by one and teach you exactly what ordinals are and what the different protocols do and how they work, right? So next, there's an aspect of community and kind of regulatory engagement baked into all of this, right? With the evolution of ordinals, it'll likely prompt ongoing discussions within the Bitcoin community and within the crypto space about what types of regulations are needed to kind of support this, to facilitate this, and what types of best practices and frameworks need to be enabled for this type of digital asset creation and management on Bitcoin to really flourish, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how this space grows. And, in conclusion, the whole ordinal space is pretty groundbreaking for this particular technology and for new functionality on the Bitcoin blockchain. It enables creation, ownership, and transfer of unique digital assets that never existed before, right? Think of being able to create any type of economic system you want with these digital assets, and nobody can stop it. Nobody can halt it. Nobody can shut it down. It's immutable. It's secure. I mean, what are we gonna see come out of this? It's gonna be very interesting to see, right? I also want to show you a few examples of this. Let's jump over to Unisat. So Unisat is a very interesting ecosystem that has been developed on the ordinals within the ordinal space. And I'll show you, a quick sneak peek at how people are using BRC20 ordinals, which is really ordinals created on the Bitcoin blockchain. Let's jump right into that. So this is the Unisat marketplace, right? And here's a number of different assets that have been minted or created on the BRC20 Bitcoin Ordinals blockchain, right? On the Bitcoin blockchain, essentially. It shows, different types of NFTs. It shows different types of coins or tickers that have been created. And it shows things like bitmap and naming, like specific names that have been inscribed on Bitcoin's blockchain that people are now trying to buy and sell. So as an example, let's just jump into Bitcoin punks, right? So these are like NFTs, very similar to NFTs. They've been created just like NFTs have before on the ERC20 or on the Ethereum blockchain, right? Now, there's different coins that have been minted on Bitcoin. Similar again to ERC20. It enables smart contracts, but now within Bitcoin, not just within Ethereum, right? And these are actually now selling on marketplaces like the Unisat marketplace. You could go and buy and sell, connect your wallet, and buy and sell and trade these different types of digital assets. Next, we have names, actual names that have been created, like domain names, right? 4353.btc, metaverse.btc, and it goes on and on, right? Very interesting that this can now be created as artifacts within Bitcoin. This used to only be possible within the Ethereum ecosystem, and now that is all changing. If you want to inscribe, which means creating your own inscription, right, and your own data on the Bitcoin blockchain, you would simply go to Inscribe, you'd connect your wallet, and you can upload a file, a JPEG, a PNG, like these are image files, a music file, an MP3, and you could put your wallet address here. And you need to have a little bit of Bitcoin in order to do this, but you upload your files to the blockchain, and then you can start inscribing them and then transferring them, trading them, whatever, selling them within this ecosystem itself, right? You could do the same thing for names. You can go ahead and inscribe names. You could do the same thing for text. You could write any text you want and inscribe it on the blockchain. And then you could create your own tickers or your own cryptocurrency coins by literally going here, first either deploying them or minting them. If you want to create a new coin, you have to go and deploy it. First deploy it, set the parameters of what the name should be, the amount or the supply, and then you go through this whole process and you can actually deploy a new ticker, right? A new cryptocurrency token. Now, if a cryptocurrency token has already been created, you could mint it, right? You could say, I want to mint 1,000 of these Grok tokens that have already been deployed. And you can then actually, mint those with a small amount of Bitcoin and move those right into your Bitcoin wallet, right? And there's an entire marketplace, like I said, around this whole new ecosystem. And Unisat is just one of many, many different ways of doing this, right? So what are Bitcoin Ordinals going to do? It'll be really interesting to see this play out, but they've definitely been gaining popularity, and they are definitely going to be a core part of 2024, 2025. And I think the potential for these is enormous. So keep an eye on Ordinals. Go check out the Ordinal space. Let me know if you have any questions on how to buy, sell, trade, transact, anything above, right? I'm very keen on this. I will go through each of these protocols one by one. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'm Dan. I'm Crypto Camacho, and I'll see you next time.